Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Stephanie Joy with Joy Disability and All Things Social Security, the channel you are watching. I wanted to share something because my clients in particular, but I think a lot of people I've also chatted with over the years here have heard me say, I don't prefer it if you personally go to the SSA office to do anything when you have a pending disability claim. The argument being they take notes on your capacities, what the clerk back there sees you able to do. So when people are going into the field office, they tend to be going in their true public best form. I mean, they're not maybe as unkempt as they might be, or they're trying not to draw attention to themselves. They might be just bucking up and doing it, right? Because they have a need they have to go there for. And nobody really likes to go to these kind of places, like going to DMV. Who wants to do it? So that's why I always suggest if you have to drop off paperwork, have a loved one do it on your behalf. And if it's something that has to be dropped off, this is an aside, bring a spare copy, say, here's my copy. Could you please stamp this filed and received by you so I can put it back in my file? And they should be able to do that just fine. They make observations, and there's a whole section in the application where they can put down their observations. So I'm going to discuss with you right now is something called the 3367. We see it in every electronic file. After the case has been filed, where you filed your application, and then the 3368 information, which is all the medical doctors and stuff you had to put in, they create this. So this 3367 is probably drawing just the critical things, the technicalities about the case, not all the doctors and evidence that's going to go to the medical workup office, but it's the alleged onset date. Are they accepting the alleged onset date as the point to start from? Or is there a reason why they have to tell the medical people to start from a different date? For instance, if uh, you allege that you were disabled January of 2025, but you didn't stop working SGA until October of 2025, October of 2025 would be your first possible alleged onset date, right? So those kind of things, very technical things, nothing really overly discretionary. However, there's this cute little section in here, and I'm just looking at it now. I forget why I even popped in here on a different case, but I was looking at something under the 3367, a section called observations, and it's number 9 on this form where they pull out all the material things. Observations slash perceptions. How was the interview conducted? And then it says select all that apply. In this case, because I'm the attorney here, there's no contact with the claimant. We do it online. I don't want my people talking to them if they don't have to. There are occasions when I have to say, all right, you have to talk to them. But those are the only times. And that's not typical. So then they wrote down, then they have a section, observations. Describe the claimant's behavior, appearance, grooming, degree of limitations, etc. So more often than not, you're going to see, if I recall, there used to be a list here. So I don't know if it just doesn't show up when it's no contact with claimant, they can't fill it in. So maybe it becomes moot, nil. But it would be, were they able to talk? Were they able to do? So they're getting some evidentiary things that are definitely not going to be helpful for a person who doesn't wear their disability on their sleeve or is not forced to by the nature of the disability. Some of them are internal. Some of them are when you've been up and about and are in pain after 3 hours, or when you're, you know what I mean? It's not going to be when you're out in public in front of, 50 people, you moaning and groaning and doing what you normally feel like you're doing at home because of the discomfort. Even like people with severe anxiety will, they can hold it together for 20 minutes. That's when they go to they might sit in their car for 20 minutes before they even go into the SSA. I almost said DMV, but nobody really wants to go to the SSA. And again, this is like the visual reason of exactly why you don't really want to go to the SSA if you have a pending Social Security disability claim unless you really have to. And then just be aware that it is very possible there's going to be an observational note. Did you have 3 arms or did you not have 3 arms? Were you acting like a normal person or. So, and most people act like a normal person when they go in because they're on their best behavior. I mean, it's usually our struggles, our pain, mental anguish, whatever the person is going through, physical or mental. Most everybody tries to keep it private. I mean, there's some people who, I don't know, perhaps can't or don't, but that's not most disabled people. Most people that are disabled, it is not because they can't act like a normal adult for 20 minutes in the SSA. Most people can do that, and they're still severely disabled from working an 8-hour job 5 days a week, week after week after week. So take it to heart, guys. This is right after you do the application, what the SSA creates. So if you go inside there or you do a phone application, that's going in. I'm not trying to detract from phone applications really overall, except I do because people need to apply. But if you can apply online, I really, really urge you to do it. The other reason why I don't like a phone is number one, they're going to discuss how well spoken you were, able to talk, able to communicate in English quite well, blah, blah, blah. You didn't seem distracted. You were just totally fine. So there you go. You've got one little objective observation early on, and later on, you're saying, I have a short attention span and I get distracted very easily and I get my thoughts all confused. And here they are saying that you did just fine. Another reason for the phone problem that I don't like when you apply by phone, you do not know what they're putting down. You just don't. Yeah, they might send you that little paper thing that says sign off on this, but not about the rest of it. Because they take your doctor's information. That doesn't usually get sent back to you. So if you gave them 10 doctors with all the addresses and everything, what's to say, and I'm not saying, there's even most clerks, in the SSA would do this, but how do you know they put them all in? Maybe they wanted to get it done, get it out. They put in the first 3, boom, out. Just saying. And you have no way of knowing. But when you do it online, you know it and you print out your answers before you walk away from that computer screen. So phone applications, not a fan. A, they're going to write down their perceptions. B, you don't know what they put down about the information you said. If they put it down accurately, did they put your date last work accurately? Did they do all those things accurately? As well as all of your medical doctors. What about all of your conditions? What if they're like, we already mentioned this one, I'm not going to put this one down. I mean, you just don't know. And then, of course, going in person, I guess I do take applications in person. I think you probably have to make an appointment because it's going to take, a couple hours. Observations. You're walking fine. They're a layperson visual, but they make those judgment calls, and you can see here they're invited to and they're even asked to. So I just say don't give them evidence that you don't have to give them, and particularly when the evidence can be completely misinterpreted. Doctors do it all the time. So what would stop a layperson who works in an office from saying, "Yeah, he looks fine when he walked in," So anywho, thought I'd let you know about that. The 3367, it's in all of every single one of you's electronic file with the SSA. So beware. All right. Talk to you guys later. Don't forget our Wednesday's live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and our 12 p.m. daily recorded shared to you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.